During the full-scale war, Ukrainian forces have neutralized dozens of Russian special forces from the elite Decimated and Kubinka units. The I Want to Live project published a list of the casualties. Names of deceased fighters from other Russian special operations forces, including special operations and intelligence units, were also disclosed. A few days ago, a documentary was released detailing the destruction of a sabotage and reconnaissance group from the Decimated Special Forces Center, which operated in the Chernihiv region. Soldiers from the 54th Separate Reconnaissance Battalion and border guards of the 105th Detachment neutralized the enemy group. The operation resulted in the elimination of 6 Decimated officers, with their bodies, weapons, and equipment seized. The project notes that the Decimated and Kubinka Special Training Centers are key units of the Russian Special Operations Forces, directly subordinate to the General Staff. Personnel undergo rigorous selection and training according to Western standards and are assigned to the most challenging and dangerous missions. These units are regarded as the elite of the elite among Russia's security forces. The losses of such fighters are particularly damaging for Russia. Each is not an ordinary soldier, but a highly trained specialist. Training one officer takes years and significant resources, the I Want to Live project emphasized. The report highlights that eliminating these specialists weakens the core of Russia's special services and reduces their capacity to conduct complex operations outside the country. These casualties represent only part of the losses among Russian elite units in Ukraine. The project currently confirms at least 58 deaths of specialists from the SOF, GRU, and FSB on Ukrainian territory. On the night of October 22nd, explosions were heard in Russian Saransk, the capital of the Republic of Mordovia. Local sources report an attack by drones on the Saransk mechanical plant. According to Russian telegram channels, a series of explosions were heard in the city at around 3 a.m. Later, a threat from drones was announced in the region, and videos with fire and sounds of detonations appeared on social networks. There have been no official comments from the Russian authorities so far. According to open sources, the Saransk mechanical plant is among the enterprises that manufacture components for weapons and ammunition. The plant also produces torpedo-type bicycle hubs, children's and teenage bicycles, snowmobiles, pedal cars, and also direct-flow valves for compressors, which it is the only one to produce in Russia. An explosion occurred overnight on October 21st on a section of the railway line connecting Pskov and St. Petersburg, a crucial supply route for Russian military logistics, according to Ukrainian intelligence sources familiar with the situation. The blast took place on one of the stretches of the Pskov-St. Petersburg rail corridor, which spans roughly 280 kilometers, about 175 miles, and is frequently used to transport military cargo, equipment, and personnel to northwestern Russia and occupied territories. Sources within Ukrainian military's main Directorate of Intelligence told Kyiv Post that the explosion caused significant damage to the railway infrastructure and sparked a partial fire on a freight train traveling through the area. Details about the type of cargo transported have not yet been disclosed, but early reports suggest it was linked to military supplies. In response, Russian emergency and security services rushed to the scene, while authorities reportedly cut off mobile internet in the region, a recurring measure often seen after similar incidents to restrict the spread of information. According to HUR, the explosion has temporarily halted train movement along the affected section, disrupting the enemy's logistical operations. Railway logistics in this direction have been stopped, which will negatively impact the supply chain of the Russian occupation forces, one intelligence source said. The Pskov-St. Petersburg route is one of several strategic lines used by Moscow to deliver equipment and reinforcements toward its western military districts and units deployed near the Ukrainian border. The constant presence of drones has fundamentally changed the nature of the war in Ukraine, according to Russian war blogger Alexander Karchenko. The only way to survive is to stay underground, and it can take days to travel just a few kilometers. On his Telegram channel, Witnesses of Bayraktar, Karchenko writes, "Movement is life." In the special military operation, this axiom has taken on new meaning. Just a year ago, You could zip into Novohrodivka on a motorcycle and be out before sunset. Now, such a scenario resembles a Hollywood blockbuster about tough guys. In real life, the brave and courageous move from one shelter to another. It can take a week to walk 10 kilometers. Drones are ever more numerous, and foliage is ever thinner. The only way to hide is underground. This scenario significantly changes the traditional understanding of combat. Renowned tactical medical instructors force trainees to drag heavy dummies for kilometers while firing blanks over their heads. It's good training, but on the battlefield, everything is completely different. In the most dangerous areas, evacuation is out of the question. If you're wounded, the only way to survive is to find cover and wait for the front to advance. 4 healthy men won't be sent to pick up a wounded man. Firstly, because more than 2 people close together are a fat target. Secondly, it's simply impossible to escape a drone with such a payload. Gunfights are becoming less common. If the enemy is spotted, they'll be destroyed by artillery and drones. Now, reaching a strongpoint basement is already a victory. That's because getting there is more dangerous than engaging in gunfire. We're moving headlong toward unmanned warfare. Humans have reached the limits of their physical capabilities. The body can't be divided into 2 parts without consequences. Humans won't become smaller or more maneuverable. All hope lies in the development of unmanned technologies. Only they will ensure progress. Rubio's call with Lavrov did not go well. Rubio is expected to recommend the Budapest summit not go forward next week. However, that anticipated meeting between Rubio and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, has been put on hold for the time being, a White House official told CNN. It was not immediately clear why the meeting was no longer taking place this week, though one of the sources said Rubio and Lavrov had divergent expectations about a possible end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A source familiar with the matter told CNN, though, that officials felt after the Rubio-Lavrov call that the Russian position has not evolved enough beyond its maximalist stance. For now, the source said, Rubio is not likely to recommend the Putin-Trump meeting move forward next week, but Rubio and Lavrov could speak again this week. Lavrov confirms once again that Russia's goal remains a regime change in Kyiv and not just some land in Donbass. An immediate ceasefire in Ukraine would mean only one thing. Most of it would remain under Nazi rule, he said, rejecting Trump's latest call. Russia killed a 38-year-old woman, a 12-year-old girl, and a 6-month-old baby in a strike on the village of Porebi, Kyiv region. Rescuers pulled their bodies from a burning house.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.